You can spend the rest of your life wiping dust off of memories, or you can decide which memories are worth the ache in your back. I'm old enough to know the difference now. I've learned that the most dangerous thing in my home isn't the staircase I might fall down. It's the weight of the past I refuse to put down. In my garage, under a canvas sheet that smells like dust and damp concrete, sits my father's old drill press. He gave it to me in 1967, a magnificent beast of cast iron and steel. I haven't used it in 15 years. My hands shake a little too much. The arthritis in my knuckles makes gripping the levers a painful chore. But I keep it. I dust it. I look at it and feel a pang of something I used to think was love, but now realize is just guilt. It's a monument to a man I used to be, a project I'll never finish. It's not a tool anymore. It's a tombstone that I have to clean twice a year. A physical reminder that my body can no longer honor the intentions of my younger mind. There is a profound difference between a clean home and an honest home. Most people my age, maybe your age too, spend their golden years polishing things they no longer need, for a future that will never arrive. We tell ourselves it's about being tidy, about respecting what we've earned. That's a lie we tell ourselves to avoid the difficult truth. It's not about being tidy. It's about being free. The things you own have started to own you. That china cabinet your mother Gloria gave you, the one with the plates used twice since 1988. It owns a piece of your dining room. Your late husband's tools, sitting untouched in the workshop. They own a piece of your peace of mind. Every box of your grown child's school reports owns a piece of a room you could be using for yourself today. We become curators of our own museums, forgetting that museums are for the dead. We are not dead yet. An honest home serves the person you are right now, not the ghosts of who you were. Listen to me. Listen closely to what I am about to tell you, because it may save you from years of the same quiet frustration that I endured. I am telling you this now so that perhaps you don't have to be as foolish as I was for so long. This isn't about cleaning tips. I'm not going to show you a clever way to fold your shirts. The internet is full of that nonsense. This is about survival. This is about dignity. This is about the 5 uncomfortable truths that separate a house full of things from a home full of life. It's about the brutal, beautiful business of being free before your time runs out. The things you're clinging to have an invisible price tag. Your energy, your safety, and your freedom. And the clock, my friend, is ticking much louder than you think. This is not a rescue mission for your house. It's a rescue mission for the rest of your life. I had a friend, Robert, a good man, a proud engineer. He and his wife Clara built their dream home in 1985. Every single room was a testament to a life lived fully. his vinyl collection from the 70s, which always smelled faintly of cardboard and sweet nostalgia, lined an entire wall of the living room. Her dozens of half-finished knitting projects, colorful balls of yarn spilling from woven baskets, sat beside her favorite armchair, as if she had just stepped away for a moment. The house hummed with the energy of their shared history. Every souvenir from their travels, every photograph on the wall, every worn cookbook in the kitchen told a story. When Clara was alive, the house wasn't cluttered. It was loved. It was a living, breathing album of their days together, a place where every object had a purpose, even if that purpose was just to spark a happy memory or a shared laugh over a cup of coffee. After Clara passed, that hum of life faded into a deep and heavy silence. Robert, in his grief, kept everything exactly as it was. It was his way of holding on to her, his own private shrine. The half-finished scarf stayed on the knitting needles. The last newspaper she read remained on the coffee table. He told himself he was preserving her memory, but what he was actually doing was embalming the house. Dust, once a minor nuisance, began to settle like a soft gray shroud over everything. The vibrant colors of her yarn faded. The air, once filled with the scent of her baking, grew thick with the smell of old paper and something else, the stale odor of stagnation. Robert's home was no longer a living album. It had become a mausoleum. He walked through the quiet rooms, touching her things, believing he was honoring his love, not realizing he was building his own prison, brick by forgotten object. Then, one ordinary Tuesday morning, it happened. The moment that changes everything. Robert wasn't carrying something heavy or rushing down the stairs. He was simply walking from the kitchen to the living room. He tripped, not on a misplaced rug or a piece of furniture, but on a stack of National Geographics from 1992 that he was going to read someday. The fall wasn't dramatic. It was a dull, sickening thud against the hardwood floor, followed by a sharp, blinding pain. He broke his hip. Lying there, pinned by a pain so intense he could barely breathe, his eyes landed on the stack of magazines. Decades of good intentions, of someday, had conspired to bring him down. The very objects he had held on to preserve the past had violently and irrevocably attacked his present. In that moment, the weight of his home became terrifyingly real, a physical force that had finally lashed out. His daughter Sarah flew in from out of state. I will never forget the look on her face when she walked through that front door. It wasn't just worry for her father, who was now laid up in a hospital bed. It was a wave of sheer, unadulterated panic at the state of the house. We couldn't even get the medical walker they sent home with him through the main hallway without turning it sideways and scraping the walls. The guest room where she was supposed to sleep was impassable, filled floor to ceiling with boxes of her own childhood baby clothes and 30 years of old tax records. Every surface was an archaeological dig of mail, knickknacks, and dusty appliances. The air itself was heavy, thick with the smell of stale memories and neglect. Sarah, a capable and loving daughter, looked like a soldier dropped into a war zone she had no training for. And the enemy was her own family history. That evening, after a long day at the hospital, Sarah sat at the small, clear patch on the kitchen table, surrounded by looming piles of unopened mail and appliances that hadn't been used in a decade. She put her head in her hands and cried, not loud, but the quiet, exhausted sobs of someone completely overwhelmed. She looked at me, her eyes red-rimmed, and then she said the words that finally broke through Robert's fortress of grief. "I love Dad," she whispered, "but I can't do this. I don't know where to even begin." It wasn't an accusation. It was a confession of defeat. In that instant, Robert, who was home and listening from his hospital bed in the living room, finally understood. His beautiful monument to his past had become a dangerous prison for his present and a terrifying, heartbreaking burden for his daughter's future. Robert's realization in that living room is the crux of it all. It's the moment the physical world crashes into the emotional one. We think the problem is the stuff, the boxes, the tools, the clothes. But that's a rookie mistake. The real clutter isn't in your hallways or your closets. It's in your head. Every object you keep for a someday that will never come is a phantom occupying real estate in your mind. That unused guest room isn't just a storage space. It's a room in your brain you've surrendered to the ghost of your child's past. That heavy drill press is a ghost of the man you once were, silently judging the man you are today. You live with these ghosts. You dust them. You walk around them. And with every glance, they steal a tiny piece of your energy. They are 1,000 silent anchors, holding you in a harbor of yesterday, while the vast ocean of today waits just outside. Your home isn't just a building. It's the physical blueprint of your mental state. And right now it's screaming for peace. And here is the most difficult and liberating truth. You are not what you own. You are not the wedding china. You are not your husband's collection of tools. You are not your career awards from 1995. These things are not your memories. They are just containers for them. The memory, the love, the pride, that lives inside you. It's in your heart, not on a shelf. Letting go of the container doesn't mean you're throwing away the memory. It means you trust yourself to hold it. It's an act of profound self-respect. What you gain is something far more precious than any heirloom. Space. Not just physical space, but mental space. Breathing room. The empty corner of a room is where a new hobby can be born. The cleared out guest room becomes the place you can finally unroll a yoga mat. This empty space isn't a void to be filled. It's the canvas. It's the quiet ground where the rest of your life, a life of freedom and intention, can finally begin to grow. So where do we begin? not with a bulldozer, not with a dumpster in the driveway. That's an attack, not a strategy. We begin with a few uncomfortable truths, the kind that separates a house full of things from a home full of life. This isn't a checklist, it's a new philosophy. The goal is not to have an empty house. The goal is to have an honest one where every object left has earned its place, not through sentiment or guilt, but because it serves the life you are living today, or the life you want to live tomorrow morning. It's about making your home your servant again, not your master. You've spent a lifetime acquiring things. Now is the time to spend what's left of your life acquiring freedom. And that process starts with these 5 principles. This is how you sell the burden and buy back your time. First, we honor the principle of clear surfaces. Your countertops, your dining table, that little table by your armchair. These must be clear. This isn't about sterile minimalism. It's about mental peace. Every object left out on a surface is a decision you haven't made. It's a bill you haven't paid, a book you haven't read, a knick-knack you haven't put away. A cluttered surface is a visual to-do list that screams at you all day long, silently draining your finite daily energy. It's a constant low-grade hum of obligation. When you clear a surface, you are not just cleaning. You are closing a mental loop. You are telling your brain, this is handled. This is complete. The visual silence of a clear countertop gives you more energy than a cup of coffee. It is the first, most visible sign that you are back in control. Second, we apply the 20% rule to our closets. Open your closet. I'll wager it's full. Shirts pressed shoulder to shoulder. Pants folded in dense stacks. The goal is not to organize it better. The goal is to create empty space. At least 20% of your closet should be air. Why? Because empty space is breathing room. It signals to your subconscious mind that you have enough. A crammed closet is a symptom of a scarcity mindset, a deep-seated fear that you won't have what you need, even when you're surrounded by an army of unworn clothes. That dress from 1998 you might fit into again. It's not a goal. It's a critic you see every morning. That jacket you paid too much for and never wear. It's a monument to a past mistake. Sell them, donate them, and buy yourself the peace that comes from the silent, beautiful emptiness. Third, we declare that no-go zones are dead. You know what I'm talking about. The spare bedroom that has become a museum of your children's childhood. The basement corner that is a graveyard of forgotten hobbies. The garage so full of just-in-case items that you can't park your car. A no-go zone is a part of your home, and by extension, a part of your life that you have surrendered to the past. It's a physical manifestation of procrastination and avoidance. Reclaiming it is a profound act of living in the present. You are not just cleaning a room. You are liberating a piece of your own life. That room could be a place for you to stretch in the morning, a quiet corner to read, a space to listen to music. You are reclaiming square footage not just in your house, but in your soul. Fourth, you must curate your own legacy. This is the hardest and most loving thing you will do. You are not your things. Your children know this. Do not leave them a mountain of possessions and the agonizing burden of guessing what mattered to you. Instead, you will choose. Find one box, maybe two if you've lived a very full life, a sturdy, beautiful box. In it, you will place the truly irreplaceable items. The one photo that captures your parents' spirit, your father's watch, the love letters from your husband, a single baby shoe. Not everything, just the essentials. By doing this, you are not erasing your history. You are writing its most important chapter. You are telling your children, this is what mattered. The rest was just stuff. It is the ultimate act of control and the greatest gift you can leave them. Fifth, you must embrace function over fantasy. Your home must serve the person you are now, not the person you were 30 years ago, or the person you fantasize you might become. This means being brutally honest. Do your knees ache? Sell the heavy formal dining set that takes 2 people to move and get a lighter, smaller table you can manage yourself. Did you give up skiing in 1997? The skis in the garage are not an inspiration. They're a lie you're telling yourself. Keeping hobby supplies for a passion that died a decade ago is a form of daily self-flagellation. It's a constant physical reminder of what you are not. Letting it all go is a radical act of self-acceptance. It is declaring peace with the person you are today, with the body you have today, with the energy you have today. And finally, number 6, easy maintenance must become your new religion. Your energy is your most precious currency, far more valuable than money. You must stop spending it fighting your own home. The goal is to make your house serve you, not the other way around. This means a ruthless audit of every object based on one question. Is this easy to care for? That heavy, ornate lamp that collects dust in 100 tiny crevices? Gone. Replaced by a simple, elegant lamp you can wipe clean in 5 seconds. That 12-piece dish set for a dinner party that will never happen? Gone. Replaced with 4 versatile, lightweight plates you love using every day. The heavy upright vacuum? Sell it and use the money to buy a cordless stick vacuum you can grab in an instant. You are trading inanimate objects for your life force. It's the best deal you'll ever make. Now I want you to do an exercise. Not later, right now. Pause this video and look around the room you're in. Or, if it's easier, picture your kitchen counter or your bedside table in your mind's eye. Look at the object sitting there. Now, ask yourself this question for each one. Is this object helping me grow into the person I want to be for the rest of my life? Or is it an anchor holding me to a past I can't change? Be brutally honest. Is it a tool for your future or a ghost from your past. I want you to go to the comments below and share the one type of object you find hardest to let go of. Is it books, clothes, gifts, tools? By sharing it, you'll see you are not alone in this fight. This isn't just a comment section. It's our circle of shared wisdom. The cost of ignoring this is not a messy house. The cost is a broken hip from a fall that was entirely preventable. It's the stark, cold humiliation of paramedics struggling to wheel a gurney through hallways you've narrowed with stacks of good intentions. Your body is getting older. This is not a negotiation. It is a fact. You cannot get a loan for a new spine or a younger set of knees. Your home must now be your ally in this fight, a safe harbor, not an obstacle course designed by your younger self. Every box on the floor is a potential disaster. Every heavy object you can't lift is a monument to your declining independence. Ignore this, and the price you pay is your autonomy. You end up trading the freedom of your own home for the sterile, supervised safety of a room in a facility, not because you had to, but because you refused to prepare your home for the person you were becoming. Then there is the other cost, the one nobody wants to talk about. It's the quiet resentment of your children who have to sacrifice their weekends, their vacation days, their own family time to come and wage war on your behalf. They have to deal with a mountain of your stuff, turning their final memories of you into a stressful, exhausting logistics project. They won't remember the stories behind the things. They will only remember the overwhelming volume of it all. You think you're leaving behind a legacy, but you're leaving a full-time, unpaid job for the people you love most. And in the end, your life story, which you guarded so carefully in all those objects, ends up being summarized by your exhausted son or daughter in one heartbreaking sentence. It was just too much. You lose control of your own narrative at the very end. Your life becomes a cautionary tale about stuff. Now for your real pact. Grab a piece of paper and a pen. I'm serious. Do it now. Write down 3 things you have been saving for someday. Maybe it's a bottle of wine, a book you've been meaning to read, or a phone call you've been putting off. Now look at that list. Cross out the word someday and write this month. That's your new deadline. This is the work we do here, turning vague intentions into concrete actions. If you are ready to learn how to walk through the rest of your life with lightness, not with weight, then subscribe to this channel. Treat it as your commitment to living honestly. It's a pact with yourself that you will no longer be a curator of a museum, but the architect of a life. The time for waiting is over. Now go. Go live your life. I'll see you on the next one.